Hi, this is Janet from Try It, Like It, Create It. And today we're going to take a walk down the kitchen aisle at Dollar Tree and look at all the fabulous finds that can be used in your crafts. First off, taking a look at all of the dish towels and placemats and so forth. This is a great source of fabric for any sewing projects, very inexpensive, as well as, using them for what they're intended for as a towel for cleanup and so forth. Next item to look at is this dish strainer or sink strainer mat. Actually works really well for stenciling. And then I've seen a lot of people haul these plate racks and actually hang them on the wall for organizing their vinyl rolls. So wrapping paper would work the same way. Anything you have in roll form, you could use this plate stacker and convert it to use for storing any or all of your rolled craft items. And of course, the chopping mats are fantastic for a number of different things if you're going to cut with any kind of utility or X-Acto knife. I tend to use one underneath any craft that I use because it protects the surface of my table, as well as giving me a surface that I can lift things up and move them around. So like if I need a painted project to dry, I can do it on top of the cutting mat and then pick up the project along with the cutting mat and move it away. Working with polymer clay, this is a great surface to work on for that as well. You can't miss out on the awesome cleaner. It works for cleaning so many things. I know a lot of people use them to clean their Cricut mats, and there's both pros and cons for that. But anyway, it is a great cleaner, and you can use it to clean up your crafting messes. I haven't tried it yet on rubber stamps, but I'm wondering how that would work as well to clean up any ink. You might not think about using this flatware from the Dollar Tree, but using one of their spoons as a burnisher would work as well as one of their kitchen knives, the dull, sharp, not sharp knife as a bone folder. I've seen people haul these little like rubber mitts, I guess you'd say, finger mitts for in the kitchen. But if you turn them on end and stand them up, you could use it for storage as a cup type holder. You could put your hot glue gun in there to protect your surface. So lots of different ideas. Maybe even find a way to hang it next to your workstation to hold things. I know, like if you have a rolling cart, you might have a handle that could straddle at the top, and then it could be used for storage. Any kind of spatula could work um, for you know as a scraper, as any kind of paste type spreading, paint spreading. I kind of like the wooden ones, not only because they're narrow at the end, but you can also sand them down and make that a finer edge if you need it. Once again, it can also work great as a bone folder um, or scoring. So don't overlook the spatulas. The aluminum pans and the cookie sheets, whether they're aluminum or tin, um, work great for catching any of your messy craft projects. So water, paint, things like that, building a booth to spray paint in. Of course, your paint pours, you can use the pans for that. I've used the cookie sheets as a magnetic surface, and although not in the craft room, they also work great in the car as a tray to use with kids, or while you're crafting anything to create like a surface to work on. The rubber gloves, of course, to protect your hands. I prefer the latex because they're a little bit thinner and they are disposable. So that or the vinyl gloves could work either way to protect your hands from any of the messy products you might be working with. Sponges are great, as well as any of the cleaning cloths, because you can cut them down to a different size. I have the blue cleaning cloths, the microfiber, and I just leave it hanging in my craft area and actually use it just as a cloth or a dry towel when needed. Don't forget to look in the area of the sponges, the scrubbies, and so forth, because these can create great textures for your paints and your inks. Scouring pad can also create a great surface for stamping, creating great texture, but you can also use it to clean off your rubber stamps or your clear stamps that sometimes they come with a little film on them when you buy them at the beginning, and to clean that film off the surface so you get a cleaner stamp, the scouring pads would work great for that. Of course, the spray bottles can be used for so many different things. You could fill it with water, you could fill it with alcohol, rubbing alcohol, um, uh, water mixed with a little bit of cleaning for cleaning up your area. Um, just a great thing to have in your craft room that you can fill with whatever kind of liquid that you might need to be using at the time. Don't overlook the sponges. These are the ones on the stick because the sponge or the brushes can work great with paint, inks again, textures. Lots of great uses for those. I love these small little red plastic cups for holding small mixes of paints or water. Great for keeping in your craft area, and just a perfect little size for anything that you're working on as a small project. And then don't forget, lastly, the shelf liner aisle, because not only can you use this as similar to vinyl, cutting vinyl, the clear one works great as a transfer sheet, but then also usually at the bottom of this section you'll find the textured shelf liners, and that can be great for working with paint and creating different textures with ink and so forth, and that can be cut as well into different shapes. So if you have any other suggestions from your kitchen aisle, these are all the items that were in my kitchen aisle, and we'll go through the store aisle by aisle looking at different products that we can use for crafting. But if you have a great find from your store, I'd love to hear about it in the comments below. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe if you'd like to see any future videos from the Dollar Tree as well as craft tutorials. Thanks for spending time with me.